Burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of freezing rain and freezing drizzle with more fog and freezing fog. We'll see a high around 35. Tonight, a slight chance of freezing drizzle and more fog with the low around 33. And tomorrow, a slight chance of freezing rain, more freezing drizzle with the high of around 36. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G20768.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Match day for the Omaha Supernovas. They're taking on the Atlanta Vibe up at CHI Health Center tonight. 7 o'clock first serve. Pre-game coverage, 6 o'clock right here on 93.7 The Ticket. DPJ Rico in Omaha, or at least en route for the first match, getting set up old school. Will come to you live from courtside there at CHI Health Center. But I am in studio. We'll be joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Erick Strickland here in just a little while. But first, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go right to our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. And welcome in the CEO of the Pro Volleyball Federation, Jen Spiker. Jen, how are you on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday where we get pro volleyball in America?
It is a beautiful day. Hi, guys. How you doing?
We are great. Thanks for taking time out to join the show. Let's just start with this. What does it mean to finally be at match day? What does it mean to see all the work come to fruition and finally get volleyball being played on the court today?
It is such a historic day for the league, for the athletes, for the fans. I mean, we're just so stoked to be here in this environment, to be in Omaha for the first match, to have Atlanta on the court with them. We're really excited.
Take our listeners through the process of the launch, of getting to today. What went into, the idea of the league? How long did it take for this to come to fruition?
Well, our founders, Dave Winham and Stephen Evans, have had their eye on indoor women's professional volleyball now for almost a dozen years. They've wanted to do it. They've known they've wanted to do it. They've done other pro leagues. And as such, it was about 3 years ago that executives from the Big Ten Network, Bally Sports Network, and ESPN had shared with them that women's indoor volleyball had risen to the third most viewed sport, right behind men's college football and men's basketball. And then right after that, I think it was ABCA chairman Kathy DeBoer told them that there were more girls playing volleyball in the state of Texas than there were boys playing football in the states of Florida and Ohio combined. And it was then that they decided to start out and start putting this league together.
What does it mean to you when you hear that volleyball has exploded in popularity, that it is that third most watched sport on television? What does that say to you? What does that mean to you about the sport of volleyball?
Well, the sport of volleyball, first of all, is as I played it, is probably the best team sport out there. In addition, I think that you would agree with me that the women's version of indoor volleyball in no way, shape, or form takes a back seat to the men's.
No.
It's a phenomenal product. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. And, it doesn't surprise me at all that we're at this juncture and we've got as many fans that have bought tickets in Omaha to the game tonight. So we're super stoked.
You mentioned the first game taking place in Omaha. The men's game absolutely doesn't reach the heights of the women's game here in Nebraska. You look at the success of the Huskers. Creighton stepped up, even at lower levels, UNK, Concordia. Volleyball is a big deal at the club level, the college level, the high school level here in the state of Nebraska. When you looked at selecting the markets for these teams, how important was it to get not just a Midwest team, but a team in the state of Nebraska?
You can't have a pro volleyball league in the United States of America and not put a team in Nebraska. That's just it. And so when we were connected to the owners, Danny White and Chris Erickson and City Ventures, and they were willing to do it, it was kind of a very much a no-brainer to put a pro volleyball team in Omaha, and now we're here and now we're doing it.
Talk about the investors, what it means to have them all come together. What were those initial meetings like with them trying to get this league off the ground to the state it's in today?
Nobody was saying no to the idea. Obviously there are lots of questions about, dollars and timing and, how do we get the athletes and, which venues and all those things that have obviously now been answered over time. But nobody was saying this is not a good idea. And the fact that we have 7 teams for year 1 and another 3 that we've already announced as expansion cities in year 2, just goes to show that people are behind this. People are behind women in sports. People are behind volleyball, and volleyball is having a moment in the United States, and people are behind this league.
We're talking with Jen Spiker. She's the CEO of the Pro Volleyball Federation. Of course, match 1 tonight up at the CHI Health Center. It's Atlanta, being hosted by your Omaha Supernovas. Jen, you mentioned where does the talent come from, right? We know there are plenty of international leagues where athletes can go play, but it's not just getting athletes from other leagues. It's getting Olympians, and that's a big deal. I think that a lot of people recognize the success that Team USA Volleyball has had, finally getting that gold medal. There are Olympians all across this league. So I know Nebraskans know a thing or two about good volleyball, but there's no way this isn't even a step up because these are world-class athletes on the court at all times in this league.
We set out to talk to the 325 women that last year played in Europe, that were American volleyball players that left college or had to go to Europe to play. And we started off talking to those ladies, and I'm proud to tell you that my team and I had 138 athletes in training camp.
Woo.
And I can also tell you that this league is not NCAA Division I. When you see this in person, they are fast. They are strong. They are powerful. This game will be quicker. It will be more speed. It will be more agility. It's going to play at a very high level, and it's going to be very exciting.
Jen, when you look at this league, what are you most excited about? Is it the fact that it's, in America, that it's around in all these big markets, and then also obviously Omaha as well? What is it that excites you most about the Pro Volleyball Federation?
I am so excited to watch these women compete for the first time at home in front of their family and friends. It's historic. And the gratitude that these athletes show to their fans, to their coaches, to us at the league that have put this together, to their owners, it's just unbelievable. They're so gracious and so excited to be to this moment in this league. And I just think it's a super special thing what we're putting together here.
I do hate to jump the gun again. We haven't even played the first match of the Pro Volleyball Federation, but you mentioned 3 expansion teams. What's in the future? Like, what's the big vision for you, for the investors, for the league, outside of just the 3 new teams next year?
So we've already announced 3 teams. We are speaking with a couple other markets. We may get to 12. We'll see. That's probably where we'll land next year, and then we'll see what 2026 brings. But I could see us, potentially adding 2 or 3 or 4 markets. At the end of the day, in five years, are we sitting at 24? Maybe. But that's obviously, just up to how much success we have in this first season.
That it is. Jen Spiker, Pro Volleyball Federation CEO, with us on our Allo VIP line. Jen, we really appreciate the time. Thanks for taking time on a few shows now to get us excited for this. We're ready for the first match tonight. Can't believe it's still only just a few hours away, but thanks as always for your time, Jen. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys out there tonight.
Indeed. If you need tickets still, supernovas.com. They should have some available. You did hear Nick saying that the lower bowl is all sold out, but that's okay. There's still plenty of seats available for you. You can still get into the CHI Health Center tonight. Omaha Supernovas, Atlanta Vibe, the preseason number 1 versus preseason number 2 matchup. The Omaha Supernovas picked to win the league, just 1 point ahead of the Atlanta Vibe. Loaded roster, loaded coaching staff, and of course, loaded local radio broadcast team. DP on the play-by-play call, joined by the legend, Omaha Skutt's head coach, Renee Saunders. Skyhawks are only working on 9 straight state titles in Class B, working on number 10 come next season. Pre-match coverage starts at 6 o'clock here on 93.7 The Ticket, with first serve at 7. We'll step aside when we get back. We'll welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on, again, that Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Evan is deep into some football coverage, right? Winter workouts started not long ago. Evan has a couple interesting pieces up about some interesting players I want to pick his brain about. We'll do that, maybe talk some hoops with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald when we get back.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com and become a part of history.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley. Make plans to stop by the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show this Friday through Sunday at the Sandhills Global Event Center. The show will feature guns, ammo, and supplies for shooting enthusiasts. Admission is $8 per person with concessions available. Hours are 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and 9 to 3 on Sunday. Located in the Currency Pavilion. It's the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show from January 26th to the 28th at the Sandhills Global Event Center at 84th and Havelock.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of freezing rain and freezing drizzle with more fog and freezing fog. We'll see a high around 35. Tonight, a slight chance of freezing drizzle and more fog with the low around 33. And tomorrow, a slight chance of freezing rain, more freezing drizzle with the high of around 36. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block. I'm Austin Norman. Strick handling some business. He will join me at the top of the 3 o'clock hour, but not to fear. I got Evan Blaine to carry me through this next segment. Evan with the Omaha World Herald joins us on our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Evan, we've thawed out, and I think that was mostly due to the hot shooting of Rink Mass last night. The man only missed 4 shots on his way to a career-high 34 points. Nebraska basketball wins by 2 touchdowns over Ohio State, 83-69. Nebraska and Ohio State, we know that football series is gone. Pretty good basketball series, pretty good baseball series as well. And Evan, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it at Ohio State that Nebraska clinched its last Big Ten baseball title?
I believe that was Indiana.
It was Indiana.
A couple of years ago.
Was it
21.
against Ohio State? I think that weren't they involved somehow?
Yeah, it was a 3-team deal. That's true. I think maybe it was against Ohio State at Indiana. That's very possible. I think that's right.
As you look at this Husker men's basketball team, obviously great performance from Mast. Wilcher played well off the bench. Bryce Williams too. Is it going to be more important for Nebraska to get a win over, say, Wisconsin at home or Illinois on the road, or just avoid a bad loss as they come down the stretch?
I mean, I think the first thing that you need to do if you're Nebraska to feel good about an NCAA tourney spot is to show that you can win on the road. I mean, they have the Kansas State win, which is helpful, but when you're 13-1 at home and you just can't get it done outside of PBA, that's not helpful for your resume. And you look at the Minnesota loss and Rutgers and Iowa, and those were all sort of disasters in their own right. But now you have that opportunity coming up. 3 of your next 4 are on the road. You got Maryland and at Illinois, at Northwestern. To me, winning 1 or 2 of those games carries as much weight as winning another one at home. I think it's sort of established that the Huskers feed on the home crowd. I think their game at home has translated well. Like, it seems like every night it could be somebody different. It was masked the other night. Wiltshire has had his moments, certainly Tominaga. You can kind of go down the list of guys that have had their big games, and that, I think, speaks well to still what the potential of this team can be. But to me, that's the next step is, okay, you can win in the friendly confines. What does that look like when you hit the road? And so it's a weird dynamic, isn't it? Because like they just beat two pretty good teams in Northwestern and Ohio State. And I think there's still a good chunk of the fan base that's just like, okay, yeah, but now, show that you can win outside of Lincoln. So to me, that's sort of the next step. Obviously, you've got a top 25 Wisconsin team coming in at the start of February as well. That'll be really interesting. But it's a unique spot for Nebraska basketball in this century, where you're not trying to get yourself back on the inside of the bubble. I mean, I think by most accounts, that's where they are right now. So win the games that you're supposed to win, do a little bit better on the road. And I think things, just based on what they've done, are stacking up pretty well, that they could be playing deeper into March than they have in, quite a while.
Nebraska, squarely inside the bubble, according to every major tournament projection that I've seen so far. But Evan, I do think part of the worry for Husker fans is that 2017-18 happened, where Nebraska, for the most part, took care of business, finished in a tie for third in the conference, went 13-5 overall, but still ended up missing the NCAA tournament just because of how relatively down the Big Ten was. So I think it's one thing to say Nebraska has to take care of business, but I also think Nebraska fans need to start figuring out who to root against. Like, a soft bubble, only helps Nebraska this year.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, this team has has a stronger resume than that team did a few years ago. Like, you just look at the quad one wins. The Purdue one obviously stands out, but they have some other quality high-end wins. I mean, the Kansas State road win will serve them well. The Michigan State and Indiana wins, I still think, are ones that you look at in March as a committee and say, yeah, that moves the needle a little bit too. And you still have some opportunities coming up. So, like, even though Wisconsin's coming into town, like, a loss to them at home doesn't kill you. That doesn't hurt your chances. Illinois has had its moments. Northwestern has been good. So they're, I think these are a lot of sort of evenly matched teams where, yeah, if you're Nebraska, you still will have a few chances to impress and add to your resume. But I think just as important is you look at this schedule down the stretch, and there aren't a lot of games where you're like, boy, if they lose that, that erases a lot of the goodwill that they've had. So I think it's sort of a nice sweet spot somewhere in the middle where you just have to be a little more consistent. And again, they've been really good at home, and they've been really good at sort of using that momentum and riding it down the stretch. But the tricky part has been when they've been behind, they haven't been able to close that gap and sort of take over games the way that you would expect a top 60 team in the country to do. So I still think that's the next thing that you need to see from this team, is find a way to win on the road. It's never easy to do. You look around the Big Ten, most teams don't have a winning record away from home. That's just how it works. But you got to do a little better than Nebraska's done to that point. And I think if you can show that even just a little bit better than what they've done, based on how the schedule's looking down the stretch and barring a collapse, I think they're in a good spot.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on our Allo VIP line. Evan, let's switch gears to football, and I'm going to throw a question at you that Nick Sainert asked me, and it's about Dylan Raiola. Like, has there ever been I don't want to say sideshow, but a bigger attraction, a bigger draw, just given the confluence of circumstances around Dylan Raiola and his recruitment? Has there ever been like a bigger sideshow at Nebraska basketball games than Dylan Raiola is right now?
Boy, I mean, not recently. Someone who would have shown up and has been getting pestered, for autographs and photos and things like that. No, I mean, that's, there have been certainly recruits that Nebraska has been, excited by over the years. I think of guys like Omar Manning or Thomas Fedoni or Adrian Martinez back in 2018. Like, there were guys that generated excitement, but I don't know, one, they weren't quite on the national level that Dylan Raiola was, and two, they didn't have sort of the dramatic commitment story that Raiola does, with the change of heart, going from the defending champs in Georgia, to the alma mater of his dad and that sort of thing. So I think the story is part of it. And then, obviously it just so happens that he plays the position that, in a lot of ways, held Nebraska back last year. If they had him in there, and were able to cut down on their giveaways by even half, how different that season could have been. So I think you put all that together with the fact that he is a well-spoken kid. He's friendly. He's not afraid to be out in the public eye and interact with fans. I think all that sort of comes together into this perfect storm of, he's going to be, a lightning rod for fans to have those photos with, to speak encouraging words to get excited about. And this is that ultimate honeymoon phase right now where he's signed. He hasn't played in the game yet. He hasn't even had a spring practice yet as a Husker. So a lot of excitement there. But no, I think in the modern era of recruiting and how it is, I think his experience is different than anything Nebraska's had.
I do think it's just on a small detail level, good to see Dylan Raiola out and about at all these events, because that's what his head coach is doing, right? Matt Rule, of course, part of the court storm, if just for a few steps, against Purdue. Do you think Dylan Raiola is really that extroverted and, appreciates and enjoys being out in the limelight that much? Or do you think he's just playing the game with kind of that bigger picture view in mind?
It's hard to say. I think when you grow up as he did with a dad who was as well known as he was, like I'm sure he saw that all the time. Like, how do you carry yourself in public? How do you put yourself out there, but not too much? How do you enjoy sort of those moments without letting them go to your head? I think back to his visit in the spring for the basketball game last year when he sat in the stands and fans were cheering him and he throws the bones, and he was having a good time with that. By all accounts, he's been receptive to taking the selfies or whatever else has gone into it. And I think to a point, you need that in your starting quarterback. You need that guy to be a little bit effusive and a little bit out there and sort of recognize that his role is greater than just the X's and O's on a football team. And I think, again, his background helps with that. I think his demeanor, you hear him talk he doesn't sound like a 17, 18-year-old kid. He sounds like somebody who is a professional athlete because his dad was, and he kind of feels that. So I think it's a mix of all that. And then, like you said, you have your head coach in Matt Rule, who's a man of the people, who's out on the town and enjoys that interaction, which is different from what a lot of Nebraska football coaches of the past had been all about. So it's a different vibe in Lincoln for sure. And again, the intensity cranks up and the fishbowl, fills up once you get into football season and all the rest. But early returns would say that this is someone who's equipped to handle it, and he's doing a good job so far.
Dylan Raiola, hopefully the jumping off point, Nebraska hopes at the quarterback position. The jumping off point for us to look at one of the most recent things you put up on Omaha.com. You took a look at the quarterback offers Nebraska has extended to guys in the 25, 26, and 27 classes. The names Mansky and Zollers have come up quite a bit here in the 2025 class. But just as an overview, Evan, of all the guys that you mentioned, as you were going through their stats, their numbers, their statures, does Nebraska have a type of quarterback that they're offering more often than others, or are they spreading, a pretty wide net across different types of guys and styles?
Well, I think it's a mix. I think the closer you get to signing day for whatever class, you start to narrow it down a little bit. You look at some of their offers to 2027 kids, for the most part, these are national level guys who are going to be future 4 stars, maybe 5 stars. They already have offers from other top programs. If you can put your hat in the ring early with a player like that, you do it, and then you see where it goes. But I think as you get closer, you look at the 25s, Nebraska's offered, I think 7 or 8 different quarterbacks in that class. Many of them have committed. But as you mentioned, Alex Mansky and Matt Zollers are 2 who haven't. I think you do get a little bit more specific into, who you're looking at. And Matt Rule spoke on it. And I put this in the story. He spoke on it last month. They want a bigger bodied guy who is somewhat mobile, who can extend plays with his feet, who has a big arm. I think Matt Rule was really affected or impacted by the weather here, and like just kind of taking a year and feeling what that's like in the Big Ten, especially the wind, and especially in Lincoln. So having a guy who can have a big arm and throw a tight spiral and still do what you would like the offense to do in those conditions, I think is important. So I think Zollers fits that description. I think Mansky fits that description. Both of those guys are adding offers by the day. So I think it's helpful that Nebraska's had relationships with those guys, especially Mansky going back to last fall. But it's an interesting just sort of snapshot in time, because as we know, the recruiting field, and especially at quarterback, is so fluid and can change all the time. I mean, Raiola is a perfect example of that, who was off the table for months before a late change. So you never know where it's going to go. But to your point, I think it was more instructive to have this snapshot to kind of see the type of person that they're looking for, maybe rather than what specific player may commit down the line.
Let's flip sides of the ball. We talked about Dylan Raiola following in his dad's footsteps. But then one of my favorite things that I've read, recently was your piece on Willis McGahee IV, not playing his dad's position, similar to Dylan Raiola, not playing center like his dad Dominic did. But Willis McGahee's story is an interesting one, where he's not living with his biological father, he's with his mother. What do you take away from Willis McGahee IV's journey just as a young man, following in his father's footsteps, transferring schools, and then going from, warm, sunny Miami to Nebraska?
Yeah, and it was an interesting chance to kind of sit down and talk with him on the phone a little bit. Like you mentioned, his dad's not in his daily life, but obviously he has his genetics and a lot of the abilities that people remember from him at Miami and then in the NFL for all those years as a running back. But, McGahee, he's the younger one, has loved defense his whole life. And he was a lineman for a long time, and then sort of became a linebacker at the end of his career in high school, and really liked Nebraska's vision for him in that jack spot, that hybrid linebacker lineman role where he could drop back, but really is out there to get after the quarterback. And like his numbers at Miami Palmetto, and then later at a private school, Christopher Columbus there in Miami. I mean, he was just a game wrecker. Like, just every time he was out there, it seemed like he was getting a sack or forcing a fumble or something. And so this is a guy who's confident in what he does. He's fast. He's quick for somebody his size at 6'3" and 230 pounds. And he's got the confidence of someone who says, yeah, he was a playmaker at the high school level against a lot of future Division I prospects like himself. And he feels like he can come in at Nebraska and make an early impact, maybe not unlike what we saw from Prince William Mielon or Cam Lenhart last year. So, just a guy, I think, who has had a lot of support growing up, who kind of knows what he's looking for. And again, you look at his numbers, and as productive as he was, his senior year, when he made that switch to Christopher Columbus High School, that was a private school, and he was able to get a little bit more coaching and attention and really took off from there. So I think that's probably the biggest point of optimism with McGahee, is that as good as he was in high school, like there's another level that he can reach when he gets into nutrition and strength training and the coaching that Nebraska is going to give him. It'll be really interesting to see how high his ceiling actually is.
And just some context for people who might not. Huge school, it's a big deal. I mean, I know as a Duke basketball fan, I'm tracking that school with interest because Carlos Boozer's twin sons play basketball there. So it's a big school. It's just kind of a powerhouse. So he's seeing other elite athletes on a day-to-day basis. One other thing, Evan, the text line reminded me that I was going to ask you of this too. Made small waves earlier in the week that Nebraska hired Anthony Crispino away from TCU. He was the GM there. I thought that's what Nebraska hired him to be here, not remembering that Nebraska had Sean Padden in the general manager role. What does Sean Padden do as GM? What is Anthony Crispino's role at Nebraska moving forward?
Well, and Nebraska, I don't believe has officially acknowledged that hire, but my understanding on what that would be for Crispino is more of a football operations role. Somebody who coordinates a lot of the behind the scenes travel and logistics that goes into just playing a football season and what that's all about. So like their internal structure, to my knowledge, is the same, with Sean Padden kind of managing a lot of the player personnel, and you have Dr. Elza, who's still the chief of staff for Matt Rule, and a point of contact for people there as well. So I think it's a behind the scenes staffer role. And I think when you look at Crispino's history at TCU, and he was at SMU with Sonny Dykes before that and elsewhere, like he's somebody who's worn a lot of hats. He's been a GM. He's been, an assistant for the head coach. He's done a lot of different things. So I think he brings that experience to Nebraska in more of an off-field role. And as we've seen, they've moved on from some other staffers this offseason, has Nebraska. So he's, filling one of those roles. And I think that'll probably be a little bit more defined when Nebraska announces the hire at some point. But that's just kind of, part of the off-season churn that maybe is a little bit less paid attention to when you look at all the coaching moves. Oftentimes there are some staffers that come and go as well. And I think Crispino will be, a pretty involved part of what Nebraska does behind the scenes.
Good deal. Strick and I talked about it. We're glad we had you on to clear that up as much as you could for us. 3 weeks from Friday, Evan, are you going to be down at Globe Life Field for Husker baseball?
Hoping so. Still kind of finalizing that, but it's a big first weekend for them for sure. First practice on Friday, and a lot to figure out between now and then. But I think anyone who follows Nebraska baseball or Big Ten baseball knows that like those early season non-conference series are extra important when it comes to RPI and things that you can't really make up later. So a lot of unknowns, I think, with that Nebraska team, but sometimes those can turn into the most fun teams as well.
That it can. We'll definitely talk more about that next week with the practice under the belt for the Huskers and more. Evan, as always, appreciate the time. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Well, the Los Angeles Chargers, are not the only team in blue and yellow still interested in Jim Harbaugh for their head coaching position. Michigan has come back with a new offer for Jim Harbaugh. What does that entail? We'll wrap up hour one with that next.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a chance of freezing rain and freezing drizzle with more fog and freezing fog. We'll see a high around 35. Tonight, a slight chance of freezing drizzle and more fog with the low around 33. And tomorrow, a slight chance of freezing rain, more freezing drizzle with the high of around 36. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP&J.
DPGM. What are you going to do to Caleb Williams? What are you going to do? You going to draft him?
No.
You're not going to draft him?
No, I don't. Here's my thing. I don't want anybody to. I'm not going to bring poison into my program because that's what it would be. He's letting you know he's poison. He's venom. Why would I put poison in my own soup?
Maybe you think you're a mongoose. You can't.
No. I have zero.
You're a mongoose. You can take the Cobra venom.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Is your furnace operating like you think it should? Find out with a service check now from the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough system check to make sure you're good to go this winter. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchanger checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time in hour one. Austin Orman with you. Stricky on his way. Should be here shortly handling some business. Big thanks to Jen Spiker, who's the CEO of the Pro Volleyball Federation, for joining us in segment one, and Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald for joining us on our last segment. Both of them joined on our Allo VIP line. Big thanks to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring the show. A couple things to get to really quickly here to wrap up hour one before we focus on Husker Hoops in hour number two. Big news out of the day in the NFL. Vic Fangio and the Miami Dolphins are no longer working together. Vic Fangio out in Miami. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network reported that. Sounds like, according to other sources, this had been on the horizon. Philosophical differences is how a couple different places have phrased it. Mike McDonald apparently looking for a more collaborative approach from his defensive coordinator. So no Vic Fangio in Miami. Jake Sorensen is in shambles. I can confirm with my own eyes. Vic is also Jay Foreman's guy. Jay is a big Vic Fangio guy, so Jay is also in shambles. Look at that. Buffalo and Miami fans can indeed get along. But don't worry for Vic Fangio. Sounds like he'll have a landing spot pretty soon in Philadelphia. Well, that's where Vic Fangio is rumored to be heading next. I would absolutely love that get for the Eagles, and I'm sure Jay will tell you just how big a deal that would be for Philadelphia to get such an established veteran coordinator to really help stabilize that franchise on the field. So that's in the NFL. NFL related, also college football related. We heard that the Los Angeles Chargers and Jim Harbaugh were, as of yesterday, within striking distance of a deal to name Harbaugh the next head coach for the Chargers. Well, comes out that Michigan has indeed upped its contract offer to Jim Harbaugh. The official contract, the official language hasn't been leaked, but sources are reporting that Michigan would or is offering Jim Harbaugh a contract that makes him the highest paid coach in college football. Not much of a shock there. Nick Saban was previously the highest paid coach in college football at $11.4 million per year. After him, Dabo Swinney at Clemson, $10.9 million. Kirby Smart of Georgia, $10.7 million. Ryan Day at $10.3. So my guess is for Jim Harbaugh, he's making no less than $11.5 a year. If he takes the Michigan offer, probably in the neighborhood of 12. Heck, might be right at $12 million per year if he were to accept the Michigan offer. That's the first thing the contract would offer. It would also offer what are called elevator clauses, which would act to keep Harbaugh as the highest paid coach in college football, at least for a subset of the years of the contract, if not through the duration of the contract. But of course, the most interesting part of Michigan's supposed offer is immunity from termination for 2 current NCAA investigations. And that wouldn't be the first time this has happened in college athletics, because Bill Self of Kansas has the same thing. The language from Bill Self's contract says this: the parties agree that athletics will not terminate head coach for cause due to any current infractions matter that involves conduct that occurred on or prior to the date of full execution of this agreement or contract. And then goes on to negotiate some salary, what will happen if the coach is suspended. So what Michigan is offering Jim Harbaugh is to be the highest paid coach on a per year basis in college football, a clause in there that makes sure he's the highest paid coach in college football year after year. And they are essentially giving up the right to fire him for cause for what the NCAA is currently investigating. If something new breaks, if something new pops, Michigan would be well within its rights to fire Jim Harbaugh should he accept the contract. But if nothing new comes out, Michigan can't fire Jim Harbaugh for what it is. Again, at this point, it's still alleged. Nothing has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt per the NCAA. But we all know what happened at Michigan. So those are a couple things that we're monitoring here. I see the Husker Hall of Famer Erick Strickland jumping on. We'll throw it to break when we get back. He was in the arena. We'll dive into his thoughts on Nebraska men's basketball's win over Ohio State, and we'll go back and forth. We will both select our 12-member Team USA men's basketball teams. They released the 41-player pool that they will be selecting for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Stricky and I will go pick for pick, get our 12-man rosters ironed out. Husker Hoops, Team USA basketball, plenty more. Hour 2 of On the Block in just a minute.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Make plans to stop by the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show this Friday through Sunday at the Sand Hills Global Event Center. The The show will feature guns, ammo, and supplies for shooting enthusiasts. Admission is $8 per person with concessions available. Hours are 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and 9 to 3 on Sunday. Located in the Currency Pavilion. It's the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show from January 26th to the 28th at the Sandhills Global Event Center at 84th and Havelock.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it, Hour 2 on Wednesday. Austin Norman in studio. Joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, Erick Strickland. Stricky, baby. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, man? Who you with?
You're muted. Where you at, Stricky?
I'm here, baby.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's try this. Stricky?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, who you with? You trying to cut me off, baby?
No,
I thought it was me and you.
It's you and me.
Coon. Okay.
We're like this.
I was making sure. I was making sure.
Like that.
What's up, man?
Oh, just reveling in a 2-touchdown win for Husker men's basketball last night. I'm excited that Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul is back open. All sorts of good stuff going on. Strick, you were in the arena last night. You saw Nebraska's win. Your impressions of the Huskers against the Buckeyes?
So here's the thing with me, man. When I didn't like how the game started. Let me just say that first and foremost. I didn't like the energy. It didn't seem like they came and matched the energy that Ohio State came into the game with. So that was something that was a little bit disappointing to me early on. Allowed Ohio State to kind of jump out on them. That wasn't a good look. But then they weren't shooting very well to start the game. That was another issue. It didn't seem like they were getting good shots, taking good shots. And then they started to kind of settle in a little bit, got opportunities, just missed them. And I'm like, oh no, please don't have one of these nights again. And because when you look at it, here's what you're looking at. Halfway through the first half, the first 10 minutes, you're looking at 5 for 13 shooting. They're shooting 38%, 25% from three. They were 2 for 8 halfway through. And I noted that because I without seeing the energy and seeing the shooting bad and letting a team get out and you're not maxing or matching the energy level, I thought it could have been a bad thing for them. They were only down 7. This is what encouraged me a little bit. They're only down 7 with Ohio State shooting 57% from the 2 and 67% from the 3. That gave me a little bit of hope. And then that's when you started to see a few things happen. And what happened with that, CJ started it, I think. He got it started, hit a couple of big buckets. And then Eli, and the reason that they got the buckets, Austin, this is the thing we talk about. Eli Rice put body, a stiff body screen for CJ Wilcher to come off, and he came off butt naked. Pause. He came off naked and knocked it down. CJ looked very calm, and throughout the night, he went on a nice little run that kind of got them going a little bit. Then you had another possession where they dove on the floor and retained the possession, Hoiberg and that crew. So I love it when Hoiberg and them come in the game because the energy shifts a little bit more. And that was the spark. It was the guys off the bench that came in and just gave them a little bit more spark.
Eli set a couple good screens for Rink Mast, too, as Nebraska went to him. And I think Rink Mast is the story, Strick. We'll talk about his scoring here in just a minute. But the rebounding, right? He gets his double-double late in the game. He gets 10 rebounds. That was my biggest worry coming into this game was Ohio State's one notable strength was rebounding. Nebraska gives up on the game only 6 offensive rebounds, dominates defensive glass there, gets its own fair share of offensive rebounds. The Huskers had 9. Strick, Zed Key has eaten Nebraska up inside. Okpara is big and long. Battle's a pretty good rebounding wing. I thought this was going to be a closer rebounding margin, but you talk about winning the differentials. Nebraska didn't just sneak by on rebounding. They dominated it. What did you make of the Huskers' effort on the rebounding side?
So here's what I saw. And I saw it even from Bryce. If I saw it from Bryce, and I'm real tough on Bryce, you know what I mean? Because just some of the lackadaisicalness about him. And it's just him, right? It's okay. I'm not against him. I love the young man. I like, his style, and I love the way he plays. It's just him. There are just people like that. Kawhi Leonard's like that. So let's just say with it. But what I saw, Austin, was when shots were going up, and I saw it not just from Bryce, but when I saw it from him, I knew it was a point that they were making in practice. And then I saw a shot go up. There was a big man weak side, and I saw Hoiberg go find that guy. And they hit him. Like,
good.
It wasn't just just kind of get into the guy and then turn, your basic stuff. No, they went and put boom and hit them and then turned or faced them and screened off. And I saw that also from Bryce. So when I noticed that, I said, yeah, this was an emphasis in practice.
Do you think that Fred Hoiberg challenged the whole team, or do you think he challenged Bryce Williams? And Bryce Williams, as a leader, took it to the team?
All of them, because I didn't just see it from one. So when I saw them going to attack weak side rebounding, I saw them going to hit them, not just your typical go and put your butt into a guy. No, they were going to put hits on them to create just a little bit of space or a little bit of pause from the defensive guys. Say, well, wait, So I like that about them.
You mentioned CJ Wilcher. He might be one of the most clutch players on this team. It seems like if Nebraska needs a big bucket, they're going to CJ Wilcher beyond the arc. Maybe it's just coincidental, but Strick, he hits the 2 back-to-back threes in the first half and the 2 back-to-back threes in the second half. CJ Wilcher looks so much more comfortable. I think you're spot on, right? Knowing his psychology, where he's at mentally. I love that he's found really the perfect role for him at Nebraska. That's a testament to him and to this coaching staff and his teammates, right? He's getting the ball up high in his shooting pocket. Everything just looks so simplified and consistent for CJ Wilcher this year.
Yeah, and how he got it going was off of inbounds plays. 2 inbounds plays. They ran just a different version of it, but it was the same play to get him to that corner. And that's what I'm telling you. You can tell that he's hitting and taking the shots that he's working on. So like I've told you, there are certain things that I can watch when I watch film on my opposing team, their style of play, whether it be blitzing, whether it be hedging, or whether it be just shading or whatever it is, right? Or they're going to down me. Then I know if they're doing that, if I come off, create space, that I know that shot's going to be available to me. I know that a hesitation, go if the big man leaves to the floater. So I'm working on every shot in practice that will become available to me in the game. And that's how it becomes comfortable. This is why you can see CJ Wilcher having a lot of comfort, because guess what he's doing now? He's came to an understanding that they're running him off the 3. So what you're seeing him do now is he's catching with a little hesitation, dribble, stepping in a couple with the guy back on his hip, little step off, and he's hitting that little mid-range. That's another shot that you could tell he's been working on. It's based on what he's seeing on film and how they're trying to guard him.
Speaking of comfort, Rink Mast had a career night. Looked comfortable all over the floor. A career-high 34 points on 13 of 17 shooting, 6 of 8 from 3. Knocked down a couple free throws from good measure. Take me through the Rink Mast experience. That seemed electric last night.
Listen, I tweeted out last night. I said, listen, Rink Mast is taking all comers. Anybody can get it. Pause. Like whoever wanted the smoke could get it last night from Rink Mast. They tried everything. It was one of those things where it reminded me of what I saw in some highlights of Joel Embiid, where Joel Embiid went for the 70-piece chicken wing from Buffalo Wings and or Wild Wings and things, rings and things, right? It was a 70-piece, basically. Yeah. Rink Mast, everybody they tried to put on him, switch on him, change on him, he gave them that work, whether it was from the back down, whether it was from the face up, the little, jab steps and bayou to the up and unders. And they were running plays and they were knowing that Okpara, yeah, gosh darn it. Okpara was not going to come out. And so they were running sets with that action, that curl off action, which Okpara, in your mind as a big man, you have to help. Because if you don't, he's dropping it. And all of a sudden, space and time and cash money. Mm-hmm. That's what Rick Mast was giving them last night. And it was good that they kept going to it and they were giving it from different versions. So they weren't showing them the same thing, but they were ending up with the same result. And then they had that little flare off too to the wing, which he's also knocked down, and it looks smooth. It looks like he's getting his knee back. You know what I mean? Because remember, we talked about that before, where we knew that the knee was not going to allow him to get his elevation. He already doesn't jump, a lot anyway. But I felt like the knee is starting to come along because he had good elevation. He shot it on the way up. Didn't look like he was worried about it at all. And he caught fire last night, and it was big for the Huskers.
To your point, Fred Hoiberg addressed that in postgame, where as part of his answer about how Rink Mass shot the ball, he said with their sports science department doing their jump testing, Rink Mass numbers are as high as they've been since December, which would have been pre-surgery, pre-injury when he had the cleanup after the Kansas State game. That's a great sign, right? Not a guy that's going to jump out of the gym, but Stricky, having shot, a couple million jump shots in your life, I'm sure, just how important the bend in that knee, the jump, and the consistency of that elevation is for a shooter, regardless of if you're, Muggsy Bogues size or Dirk Nowitzki size.
Remember, I told you the technology, we talked about it on the show, but we weren't talking about Rink Mass. We were talking about Juwan Gary, about how they have just great systems to monitor those types of things. Are they jumping off both? What balance and load balance do they have on one side or the other? Because you can create injuries by not effectively doing it the right way. And as you said, he alluded to it in the post game. But that's a beautiful thing to have Rink coming back and being strong. But guess what's going to happen? Now they're going to go on the road, and Maryland's like, oh my gosh, wait. We were preparing Casey, or we were preparing, CJ. Good, wait now. We gotta do something a little bit different. Because one of the things is they've got a great shot blocking squad as well.
Julian
Reese.
Reese.
Gonna have Julian Reese is in there, so they're gonna have to figure out how to work with that. He's been playing very well, and so they're gonna look at ways to exploit that as well. Because I guarantee you, they're gonna try to find a way to stop Rink. And if they get Rink one of those shots early and he knocks it down, be on the lookout for what can happen in that game.
A few things stood out to me rewatching the Rink Mass performance. Number one, his threes weren't toes up the line. Those were NBA range, like way spaced out threes. And obviously it helps be able to shoot from that range. But Strick, just in general too, how dependent on space is Nebraska's offense, and how important is it that Rink Mass can space to NBA range, not just college range?
I mean, it's very important. You can just see the maturity. It was funny. I'm sitting there, and one of the coaches that was my coach when I was with the Vancouver Grizzlies comes by, and he hits me on the shoulder, and he's like, Strick, what's going on? Bob Stack. Hey man, hey Bob. So we're having a nice little conversation and everything, and he's with the Miami Heat. He's an advanced scout for them. He was there looking at other players. Now listen, I would have to venture to say that Rink Mass could pop up on some radars, with the way that he shot last night, because everybody can use that. He's like the collegiate version of Jokic to me.
You know who he reminds me of? Jaime Jaquez, just a little taller.
Yeah, and Jaime Jaquez as well is probably a little bit more athletic, I think. But hey, but listen, I like what Rink to me is the collegiate Jokic, just the way that he bumps and grinds and hits you with a little something, right or left hand. I like what they got going on, but I even more like the maturity of the team, because they started to do something that I hadn't seen in detail until last night. And that was seeing the mismatches, seeing the switches, and backing it out, going to it, and finding Rink or finding somebody or working off of it based on the mismatch, to the point where they were even trying to run guys to switch to try to change the mismatch that was going on. But you could tell they were doing that. They were going at it. They were better and more poised at the execution parts of their game. So it was a good thing to see.
And Strick, we talked about Karl Anthony Towns going for 62 alongside Embiid's 70-piece chicken wing from Buffalo Wings and Rings yesterday. What's the difference between Karl Anthony Towns hunting shots and Nebraska setting Rink Mass up to have success the way that it worked last night? Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. He didn't have to hunt for anything. He had one heat check, and that's okay. CJ had one heat check. It's just the compounding of the heat checks after things have shifted and moved. CJ didn't come back to hunting. He didn't. He allowed things to come to him. He had his heat check, but he allowed. That's what each and every one of those. You didn't see Casey hunting. You didn't see any of them hunting. You saw probably one shot that maybe was questionable that Bryce ends up hitting, that it was kind of a hunt. You probably could have did or got something better in that situation, but he knocks it down. So it's one of those, no, yes. and that did happen. But other than that, they did a good job of executing, running their stuff, pounding Ohio State into the curb and allowing them to come out with an 83-69 victory. Again, that record is phenomenal. I think it's now 20 or 21-1 in every time they hit 80. So, to them, it's execution, it's rebounding, it's doing those little things, it's winning those differentials. If they do that, they can get up there. For me, it's anything in the upper 70s is going to give Nebraska a big chance to win as long as they're playing defense and they're active.
Okay, when you mentioned Rink's heat check, are you talking about the step back he took from the right wing?
Mm-hmm.
Stricky, that's a 6'11" dude, jab stepping battle off of him, taking that jab.
He hit that one. No, it was another one. He hit that one. He hit that one.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what we got going on here tonight?
I was trying to picture your reaction. Like if I'm sitting next to Stricky, he's like, whatever, he's hot, let him take. Oh my gosh, he made it.
No, I'm going nuts. Listen, I told you, you have to check with Nick. Make sure he went to the doctor because his leg's probably nice and bruised as much as I was hitting him last night.
That's funny. Let's finish the segment on this. It's a 14-point win for Nebraska, Strick. I think that's really good, right? It's good optics. You win by double digits. It looks like you control the game. But I don't think that game was as close, or it wasn't as big of margin as the final score made it seem. Ohio State cut it to 5, down to even one possession at a couple times. So to me, Strick, looking at it from the outside in, it seems like that was like a perfect storm where Nebraska could get close game experience. They could figure out how to finish a game. They could step on a team, Ohio State, when they're a little bit down, having just snapped a little bit of a losing skid against Penn State. And they get another night off for Juwan Gary. To me, last night went about as well as it possibly could have for this team.
Well, like I said, I hope to see more minutes from Eli Rice, and I did. And he didn't do too bad. I mean, he stayed within himself, got to the free throw line. He didn't, try to do too much. I think maybe one time. I think for him, it's communication. He needs to talk a little bit more because there's a couple of instances where it was two guys going to the ball. That's just a communication thing. They have to talk a little bit more. So he has to do better about that, because sometimes in high school, they don't teach you that stuff. You don't get coaches that really teach you those fundamental things. I was blessed to have a coach, rest in peace, Lanny Richards, who has recently passed. He was a coach that really taught me all of the fundamental principles of how to defend on a one-on-one basis and on rotations. That way I was very seasoned at it. I just don't think he has that. And so he's slow on the curve of getting up to par there. But I'm glad to see him because he came in, he got 3 rebounds, a couple of physical rebounds. But I want to shout out, I still think he's struggling on the offensive side of things. Not that he's getting bad shots. It's just Jamarcus is struggling a little bit, but he did a good job of pushing, got 6 assists on the night. So if he can just be effective in that area, even if he doesn't score, I think he'll be good for the team.
Nebraska 83, Ohio State 69. Next game for the Huskers on the road at Maryland. We'll definitely get into that game more later in the week. Y'all liked our Nebraska all-time team segment. We got a pool of players announced for Team USA men's basketball. Stricky and I are going to go back and forth and pick our Team USA teams. Once a player's off the board, no one else can take him. We'll pick our Team USA 2024 Paris Olympic rosters when we get back.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of freezing rain and freezing drizzle with more fog and freezing fog. We'll see a high around 35. Tonight, a slight chance of freezing drizzle and more fog with a low around 33. Tomorrow, a slight chance of freezing rain, more freezing drizzle with the high of around 36. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Rashawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G20768.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along here during On the Block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you here. Just yesterday, Team USA announced that it has a 41-player pool that it is going to select its 12-man roster for the Paris Olympics. Before we get to that, Strick, there's also some consideration being given on the women's side to Caitlin Clark joining the Olympic roster. That's an organization in Team USA basketball that really, since the Dream Team, has given deference to pros, to veterans who have been around the block, been there, done it before. When you look at Caitlin Clark, do you think she would be a worthy addition to the Team USA women's roster for this Paris cycle?
Oh, yeah, I don't see why not. Okay, I mean, this is where we'll get into some of this when we do our thing on the men's side. I don't see why not. I still think there's value there. I think the things that she can do is far and above what most women at that level can do. And so I think one of the things that is a misconception sometimes, I think you saw it with the Dream Team, obviously, is guys, when they get around guys of their equal, they can figure out a way to humble themselves and be the best version of themselves that helps to accomplish the goal, and that's to win the gold medal.
Mm-hmm. And Caitlin Clark wouldn't be the star on Team USA as good as she's been in college. She's absolutely not taking over the headlines for some of the other players on that roster. So I think that even just if she's a spot-up shooter, right? Come in, play 6-7 minutes a game, have that gravity to stretch the floor. Sure, why not?
But she has great vision too, though, Austin. Like, off of a rebound, you run, she'll find you. You can see that with what she does with the Iowa squad. Listen, anytime she comes off a screen, you've got to be there with one or two people, and if you don't, good night. And so I think it'll open up a lot of stuff for the other ladies that are just as skilled as she is to be able to do so. Even if she comes off in curls, like if you're smart, you make sure you have somebody there to make that she doesn't come off Steph Curry and be open.
Right. All I'm saying is she would probably do more for this USA women's team than Christian Laettner did for the men's team.
Oh,
Laettner is still a weird inclusion. I say that obviously with all the Duke love in my heart. You mentioned Steph Curry. He's one of the 41 guys available for picking. Stricky will pick 12 guys each to form our Team USA teams. Once a guy's taken, he's off the board.
I think you're going to be surprised at where Stricky goes, but go. I know you going big time. I think I know you big time. So I think you're going to be surprised at my breakdown as to why I go the way I go, because I don't think you're going to touch some of the players I touch.
Okay, I like that. You get the first pick. Lead us off.
First Piznai.
First Piznai.
Oh, I've got to go with the Chef Curry.
Okay. Talk me through it.
Just for what we just talked about regarding Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry and his abilities, and he's fun to play with. Once he knows he's got a bunch of guys around him, he'll be fun to play with. And I think you can play him at either position, the point guard or the shooting guard, and be happy with that.
I am bummed. Steph was very high on my list. It's still wild to me that he hasn't won an Olympic gold medal. He hasn't been on any of these teams, so I'm glad to see him finally getting his crack. Another guy who hasn't won Olympic gold is my first pick, Joel Embiid.
I knew you were going to go there, sucker.
I did. I had to. Here's the thing, Strick. We saw Team USA manage to win Olympic gold in the last cycle. They were beat up inside. They struggled with rebounding, not a lot of rim protection. You know, Embiid can do that. He's familiar with the international game, but he's also got the offensive prowess we talked about yesterday. That was a glaring hole for Team USA last time. There is no way I was picking anybody but Joel Embiid first.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would have went there, but the reason is because I knew you weren't going to touch my guy, so I'm going to leave that alone. And my next guy, I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards.
Okay, I'm not shocked by that. You're going to leave me very few guards, so I feel like I should probably take one here soon. But I'm not. I want Captain America. I want Kevin Durant on my team. That's my.
I knew you were going to do it, and I wasn't even going to pick KD. So there you go. You can have him.
Okay, I'll take him. He's clutch. Team USA's all-time leading scorer. He's been around the block. Matchup nightmare. I got KD and JoJo for my first two. Pick number 3, Stricky.
I'm going with Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
I like Jalen Brunson. I'm going to roll with Jalen because Jalen has shown me his abilities. He's physical. He can get anywhere he wants to. He can play on or off the ball. He doesn't need the ball in order to be successful. So I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson.
Okay, I absolutely have to take a guard now or else you're going to take literally all of them from me. I didn't want to take this guy this high, but you're making me do it. I'm taking Devin Booker. We know he's got the marksmanship, and he's had to run some point in Phoenix. He's done it capably, has that Olympic experience. So I'm not mad about Devin Booker. I'm just frustrated you're taking all the guards I wanted this early. Vicky's tricky. For me.
Next, I'm going to go with Chet Holmgren.
Okay.
Inside presence, wiry, not scared of contact, willing to work on the inside, can run, can stroke it. So I'm going to go with Chet Holmgren as my center forward.
I really like that for you. You leave me my boy, Jason Tatum. Two-way wing, can handle, can defend, can rebound. Jay Smooth, my next pick.
All right. And since that's the case, I really don't want to do this.
But
I feel it's a necessity because of who you took. I just need a bigger body on the inside, and so I'm going to go with Anthony Davis. It's my power forward.
We have to have the Anthony Davis conversation sometime on the show, Strick. Like, he's been the Lakers' best player this year. Like, I don't want to say AD's fully back, but AD's been really good this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like him without LeBron.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think you'll see a different AD without LeBron.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. My next pick.
How many do we got?
You are through 5. We'll pick a 12-man roster each.
Okay.
That's what Team USA can take. I think I need another guard. I'm down to a couple options in my head, and I think I've got to go with the steady vet Drew Holiday. I don't love my perimeter defense right now, so I think Drew Holiday is a defensive spark plug, good enough catch and shoot guy. Again, Team USA experience. I like Drew Holiday on my team. I'll take him my 5th pick.
All right. Since you go with Drew Holiday, I raise you, and I go with Desmond Bane.
Of course you do.
I knew you wasn't going to touch him. I know you wasn't going to touch him.
I was going to touch him. He was next on my list.
I like his big body. I like his physicality, but he is an absolute stroker. If you find him, it's money in the bank to me. I like Desmond Bane.
I don't like that you like Desmond Bane, but I respect the pick. I am going to turn my eyes in the direction of... I don't know if he's going to be available, but he's still on the board and it's hard to pass up. I got to take Kawhi Leonard. I got to take Kawhi, given that he's still on the board. The odds that he actually makes the team, makes it through a season, are slim. But again, Kawhi has been playing on the low some of his best ball of his career this year. So if he's healthy and he's engaged, I really like this Kawhi Leonard pick right here. Back to you. Halfway home, by the way. We're through 6.
So for me, because here's what I said. I said I would rather take this guy than Devin Booker because I'm really looking for guys that are talented enough, because on the international stage, it's not necessarily about one-on-one. It's not necessarily about who you can ISO Joe. It ain't anything about it. It's a little bit different flow. And this is why I'm going with Mikal Bridges, because he's a two-way guy for me, can still stroke it, doesn't need the ball, can run like a gazelle, but can also give me a bucket if I need to.
Yep, that all makes sense to me. I'm going to stick on the wing, and I'm going to take Paul George. I know I'm gotten a little bit of an older team than you do at this point.
I knew you was going to do it. That's why I was like, I ain't touching none of these old guys. I don't want them.
All right, you can win the U23 gold medal, but I'll take Olympic gold. I'll take the big daddy. I'll do it.
That's what you think. That's what you think.
All right.
Okay. At this point, this is number 7. When I do need one, and I'm assured of I need to ISO Joe you for setting up something, this is where I go to Kyrie Irving. Give me Kyrie Irving. Let's go.
Kyrie's been on the Olympic team before, hasn't he?
I don't think so. I think he's kind of been left off.
He was on that 2012 team.
He might have. I thought he was left off more so than he's kind of.
He was on 2016.
2016. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I like that for you. He's got experience. I'm going to go with my under the radar glue guy here. I got Alex Caruso. Dog.
I like
down
it.
Open shots, does enough of the dirty work. So I'm taking Alex Caruso here.
I like it. I need to go back with a little bit of size, and I just like his physicality. I like his how he stepped his game up. Just like Embiid, I'm surprised that he even gave us the opportunity to use him, and therefore I'm going with Paolo Banchero.
My guy. I was hoping I'd be able to steal him with one of my.
I know you wanted him late.
Yep. But that frees me up to also look at a big guy, but probably more defensive oriented. I think he learned a lot last Olympic cycle. I think he can do a lot of things really well for this team. My next big guy is going to be Bam Adebayo. Really good.
I'm glad.
Fantastic rebounder, a good offensive hub for movement. So I'll take Bam because I think he's learned a lot of lessons from his previous experience.
You're gonna be surprised at who I go with. I'm telling you, not
you
now.
Taking Walker Kessler too? Are you
not
taking
now.
Kessler
No, I'm not going with Walker Kessler. That's a negative, genius. Just because I like the fact that he's gone to Milwaukee. He's settled in. He's got another star with him. He can still be and do what he needs to do. When it's Dame time, we going to Dame. When it's Dame time, we going with Dame.
I see you. Okay. I like it. I'm between a few guys here with this pick. I think I have to. Neither of us have taken LeBron yet. Neither one of us have done it. He's still on the board.
Mm-hmm. That sinister laugh.
And I'm taking Cam Johnson.
Oh, the trickery.
I'm taking Cam Johnson. Floor spacing, rebounding, hustle kind of guy. Not going to be a star, but if you need a spark off the bench, you won't feel bad about Cam Johnson. Okay, so I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 left. 2 left each. 2 players.
2 each. Oh. With that in mind, I know they got similar games, but this is why I think you can kind of interchange them in a way if you need to. I'm going to go with Scotty Barnes.
I do like that. I like that for you, but not as much as I like taking Derek White. Versatile guy, can play 1 through 4, heady, again, has some of that FIBA experience. So I feel very good about this value pick of Derek White.
Is this the last one or there's 2 more?
This is the last one, Stricky. This is
I
how
thought
you
this I thought this was only 11 or 10.
Count with me here. Steph, Ant, Jalen, Chet, AD, Bane, Bridges, Irving, Banchero, Lillard, Barnes. 11.
Damn.
You got one more, Stricky.
There's one more guy that I really wanted.
Make it count.
But I'm going to go with the center.
Okay.
And it's Jared Allen.
Ooh.
And this is why I waited so late, because I knew you wouldn't touch him.
Correct.
And the reason is, Jared, did you see what Jared Allen did to Wembanyama at the top? Wembanyama had a step on him. He turned and goes higher than Wembanyama and get that stuff out of here. Jared Allen for inside block shots, rebound, run, just dirty work stuff. That's why I like him.
See, it's funny because he's still not as good as Evan Mobley. I'm kidding. Jared Allen is legit. I like that for you. I'll let you know where my head's at with my last pick here. I am a noted Tyrese Halliburton fan.
It was him or Jared, and I had to go with Jared. I needed size. But
I like De'Aaron Fox in transition. Again, kind of supercharge if this team's going to run. I like the idea of Donovan Mitchell, a little bit bigger body, a little thicker if I need a guy to get downhill. But Stricky, I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger on those guys. He's still LeBron James. He is still LeBron James. If he needs to settle into the point guard facilitator role, he can. I know he'll be locked in on the defensive side. You know he's got the flair for the moment. And I don't think he's going to be the guy that dominates the ball, right? I think that LeBron has been around the block enough that, and these guys aren't scared of LeBron. They won't just give him the ball late. Whoever's open is going to get it. These is an all-star team. And if I get LeBron with the last pick, I still think there's enough juice in the tank.
I give LeBron 2 thumbs down, in the words of Dave Chappelle. 2 thumbs down.
All right. So
and make sure Jay sees this in a clip.
Oh, don't worry. This will make its way to Jay Foreman. How about this, Stricky? Just because I'm a nice guy, I will give you Tyrese Halliburton on your team too, since I didn't take him. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. And for my last pick, I will throw Spida onto my team.
Okay.
Acceptable?
Acceptable.
Okay. We have the teams. We made it through. I will tweet them out from the On the Block 93.7 account. Go follow. There will be a poll up. Which team wins gold? Team Stricky or Team Austin? Let us know at On the Block 93.7. We'll post that. We'll be back to wrap up On the Block after this.
Is your furnace operating like you think it should? Find out with a service check now from the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough system check to make sure you're good to go this winter. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchanger checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com and become a part of history.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relieved. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on a Wednesday. We just got done drafting our 2024 Team USA men's Olympic teams. Again, that is up at On the Block 93.7. Vote for Team Stricky, but if you want to be right, vote for Team Austin. I'm kidding. They're both good teams. Both have a shot to win Olympic gold. Stricky, before we get out of here, before we turn it over to DPJ and Rico up at the CHI Health Center in Omaha, they're getting set for the Supernovas game against the Atlanta Vibe tonight. I do want to throw this your way. It was reported that Michigan has offered Jim Harbaugh a new contract that includes 3 key elements. Number one, it makes him the highest paid coach in college football. It includes elevator clauses that would keep him the highest paid coach in college football. And probably the most important element of this contract is that there's language inside the contract that wouldn't allow Michigan to fire Jim Harbaugh for cause for any of the current ongoing NCAA investigations and anything it finds. Is that a good enough deal to keep Harbaugh in Ann Arbor, or is he still bound for the Chargers?
I mean, I think that's something that helps in the matter. It's an enticing thing for him. I personally think, like I said, being that there's more to come, I think even though it may not be any internal penalties, it's possible that it could be enough penalty to hinder him. I personally think Harbaugh is going to use Michigan as leverage to maximize whatever he's going to be able to get from the NFL at this point. Because let's be honest, there's not a lot of great coaches out there right now. So he can leverage the success that he's had. Obviously, his brother's having great success up there on the West Coast as well. It's both of them could be both in the California area, and it's something that's very possible that I think he's using it as leverage.
Which would make sense. I mean, it's always seemed most likely to me that that's the direction that Jim Harbaugh would go, be to the NFL to make sure it was as out of the way of any, possible NCAA sanctions as possibly be. But Strick, if you have to offer Jim Harbaugh that much, right, to have that much leverage over you, like Jim Harbaugh would basically be holding the university hostage at that point. Like, is Jim Harbaugh so good and so worth it to Michigan that they offer him this contract, or is it overkill?
I think it's been an accumulation of things. The fact that he's on the verge of being ousted, COVID hits,
right,
and then it's like a complete 180 in everything. You in now what, 3 years straight you beat Ohio State. You're knocking at the door of the college football championship. You win the last of the 4-team college football championship going into the 12. And there's just so much to look forward to. And the excitement of what's going on there. There's disappointment right now on the basketball side of things. It's the best show going in Michigan right now. And not to say that there's a whole bunch going, but that's what's huge. That's what's big in the big house. So I can understand how they want to hold on to that glory.
You're going to the Supernovas tonight, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I will not. So DPJ, Rico out there already. Go say hi to those fellas for me. But Stricky, I got good news for you. Thirsty Thursday's back tomorrow.
I'm getting a head start, man. I'm a head start.
All right, it looks like a smooth red. We'll see what Uncle Kevin brings in tomorrow. Stricky, thanks for jumping on this last hour. We'll see you back here in the Big L tomorrow.
Thanks for holding it down for me as I went to handle some business today. I'm excited about the move. Hate it, but nonetheless excited.
There you go. For Strick, I'm Austin. This has been On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Don't go anywhere. We got Old School coming up live from the CHI Health Center, the home of the Omaha Supernovas and only the Omaha Supernovas. DPJ, Rico, Old School, next.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com and become a part of history.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state